Okay, I think we're live.
I think we are. Maybe. Looks like it. Hi, guys. Welcome to Mountain Bears. I'm Mason, and Chris tonight. My co-host is the cohort and Techy Joe. How you doing tonight, honey?
Did you call me the cohort?
Yes.
Cohort. Cohort. There's a T. Cohort.
Uh-huh. So defend it if it keeps up around here.
Sorry, no, that's one of those words that, like, you just miss a little piece of it, and it sounds totally different. Sort of like if you, I had that lovely experience in school of learning to sing Little Shop of Horrors. Because if you get a little mealy mouthed after like the 18th or 100th run through, and it becomes Little Shop of Horrors, Little Shop of Horrors. You quit. Yeah. Even now, though, after that experience, I have trouble not properly enunciating it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but anyway, like, it's a struggle for me to do it wrong.
Right.
But anyway. So how's your week been?
A little insane, but a little fun. Looking forward to the weekend.
Yes.
Yes, we'll be getting out of the house. We'll be in Morgantown, West Virginia. I'll be doing walk-in appointments on Saturday at Earth Magic Books and Talismans. And then Sunday, I'll be doing a course, Wicca 101. If you're one of my students, I will see you there. Oh, I was wondering, yes, Nina has decided that she needs attention, so she'll be joining in and out of the show. Hopefully, she will not redo my hair. But, hair and makeup is always a problem. Especially when it's done with someone with 9 lives.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, so what else happened this week? You did something pretty cool that I think people are probably starting to realize as they're watching the video.
I done something pretty cool. Oh, I got new glasses. Yes. New ones. I also have some really awesome sunglasses that you will probably see me in more so. I actually like those better.
Yes.
Love this idea of this dark brown. What is it?
It's gray. Well, the technical lens, what you see is gray. What everyone else sees is oddly brown. It was weird. Yes, we will be in your neck of the woods again. Because we got pretty close the last time with the doctor's appointment. So yeah. So no, we will actually be up there really close. So yeah.
Wow. But also, while running in the sheets to grab a pack of cigarettes, I noticed there's this lovely yellow and blue thing. That's a DMV kiosk on the side.
Yes.
And, I was stuck in that because, my birthday was in the middle of the pandemic that we're still in.
Well, no, it was in the beginning of the pandemic. Like, it's not even the middle anymore. Like, you needed to go get your license renewed, I think, the month that everything shut down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, because we shut down, like, March, 3rd or whatever?
No, like March 12th.
March 12th? Was it that late? Okay. Yeah. I thought it was still pretty early March when we shut down.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, yeah, and then your birthday was right there at the end of the month, and it was like, oh, shit.
Well, it was nice for them to extend it.
Yes. Yeah, that was like my one big thing there in the beginning was when they were like, oh, yeah, we're closing DMV offices. I'm like, he ain't driving on an expired license. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. We ain't buying that ticket.
Well, honey, it wasn't expired.
Huh?
It wasn't expired. It just needed to be renewed.
No. You're not understanding, though. If they had not extended, you would have technically, as of, the day after your birthday, you would have been driving on an expired license. If you were pulled over for any reason, you would have been driving on an expired license.
Right.
But not for the extension that said, hey, we're just not even right now. Like, we're just not even going to go there.
Right.
But yes, you got to kiosk, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And apparently a crap ton easier.
It was
It took you 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes, in and out. Nobody paid attention. Sat there, typed in my stuff, stuck my finger where it needed to be stuck. It pulled up every little document, all these files. And I'm like,
where is this at the real DMV? Because we just did this. We just did this before my surgery. Like literally the day before my surgery, we finally got my license changed.
Yes.
So back in September, finally got the address changed on my license, and I swear to God, I thought I was applying for immigration.
Well,
I stood there afraid I was going to get deported.
Well, I was standing there going, dear gods, I take a file this thick to them.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the crap that they supposedly need to give me permission to drive a car. None of it having to do with driving a car, more having to do with tracking the government.
Well, identity. Yeah. But no, I've been through this twice in the state of West Virginia. Already had to deal with this twice because 5 years ago I did a oh God. So yeah, so last year we did the change of address. Had to show up like I just like got here. And then before that, 5 years ago, when I don't know, I'm trying to remember because it's every 7, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I've got 2 years left. So last year I had to go change my address. And then before that, and then when I first moved back to West Virginia, I got the short-term license. Each time I've had to go through and just everything.
Right.
Proof of address, needed this, need that, got to have a utility, got to have a bank account, can't be a credit card. And I'm like, who do you think is going to fight harder to find me? Like, my credit card statement is a lot more important to discover. And you better believe they verified my identity up one side and down another. Than my bank. Now, my bank did verify my identity. Don't get me wrong. But
then said, "Can I see your driver's license?"
Yeah, well, Discover asked a lot more questions.
Exactly. And I was like, okay, no big deal. And it says, you understand you're going to have the same picture. And it kind of struck me funny.
I know, right?
Like, because I thought, same picture. Taking a moratorium on getting a haircut until the plague is over. Fuck, it's going to look like an updated picture.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I was hopeful you'd get like a nice, like right now, I was hoping you'd get that as a picture. Just be like, hi. And then when the hair's long and like 12 colors and whatever you're going to do to it, then I can be like, but no, see, no, there was a brief period. See right here.
Please.
I had him looking at all Abercrombie and Fitch, like gapped out, like life was good. Old Navy.
Yeah, I've never been Old Navy. Heck, I don't.
Yes, you are. You wear half my closet. It's Old Navy.
Well, I know, but I'm not Abercrombie and Fitch, honey. I haven't been Abercrombie and Fitch since we had a nice real Republican in office.
Oh. But yes, I know the title experience too, Glenn. That's the one thing we did not get changed before my surgery.
Yes.
We're waiting for that disaster to unfold.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. There's going to have to be a courthouse trip here probably soon. Or at least a phone call to go, oh, God, I forgot to change my title.
No, we changed registration.
But, yeah. No, it's not that he needs a haircut. Well, okay, whatever we want to say on that. But it's not that he's needing a haircut. He's actually wanting to grow it out. And he was like, perfect opportunity. You can't say a word. So he was like, yes, I am going to have it halfway to my ass.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Only when it's dry. When it's wet, it'll be like 2 miles long. But a very nice offer. But no, not getting my hair cut until the pandemic is over. And I think that, stylists have been paid properly for the hazard that they are putting themselves through in doing haircuts.
Dang it, guys. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So, yeah, my hair is going back to being long. I go through this phase where I do this nice little cute, wonderful short haircut. Have done it for 2 years. It's time to see if it can still go out and go long. And who knows, it may even get to where it's long and wavy, not long and curly.
Yeah. No. Thankfully, my hair is easily home cuttable. It's called no guard.
And
Buzz cut, no guard.
Yep.
Just
it takes me 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And we were paying, literally, I would have added this up as I've cut your hair. We have been paying $3 to $4 a minute to have your hair cut.
I know, right? Well, I don't know. Then again, there's typically this experience, and we went through this, like when you first cut my hair, was I had to give you the warning, and you did a good job. You did a good job. But I always have to give a warning because everyone thinks they can just like through my hair. No, you actually have to slow down a little bit. Like, I don't know. Apparently, my hair is thick or grows at a weird grain or something, and I will bind up a set of clippers in a heartbeat.
You have thick hair.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. So I think some of this may actually just be like where other stylists have like started there and just like didn't listen and like ripped chunks of my scalp out.
I would say so because it's been growing back in. Granted, you're going to get buzzed again tonight, as my dad's setting in.
Well,
Yeah, because that's the way he rolls. He likes no hair, not a problem. I'm being good with it. I'm updated enough hairstylist so I can at least give a buzz cut.
There you go. But yes, y'all should definitely be getting hazard pay. This is like. Yeah. Because that's the unfortunate part in all of this is like you cannot social distance that. And to some degree, I'd say the masks are really kind of almost interfering to the point of like that's not going to really help. Like you're probably at I'd say that there's a lot more time spent trying to avoid cutting the strings on the mask. Hey, Brenda. You're late tonight. Where have you been?
But, well, not only that, but it's just the whole fact that stylists weren't given the option to go back to work when they wanted to, especially if they're a corporate stylist.
Well, true. Well, I don't know, though. Like, I know that some places that's probably extremely true, and I know other places there's kind of, how does that work? They're leasing the booth is how that works out. And basically it's like, yeah, you're going to pay your rent regardless if you want to keep your spot. Otherwise, like, good luck with that.
Right.
Like, if someone else wants it, we'll rent it, and then you're screwed. And then it's like, oh, yeah, we need you to work.
Yeah, and then there was I need a haircut protester carrying an AR-15. There was no.
Yeah. But now, Brenda, I'm giving you grief, but my cheesecake better not be late. I said it.
Yeah, it was a go back or don't get paid. They didn't even get an option to say, no, I think it's too early to reopen.
Yeah.
And, their boards are closing in on, you're going to have so many hours. It's ridiculous.
Sunday! Cheesecake Sunday. Cool. But yeah. Hi, Mark. I wouldn't mind a stunt double because I'm kind of getting to that point in my life that, like, my stunt double would probably be annoyed for the things that I would have them do, but, like change light bulbs and shit like that. Because I feel like I'm hitting that age where, like, that's defying death. Like, that's where I'm at.
Mika, I'm a double Aries, and he is a Cancer.
I am a disease.
No, you're not. You're a hard shell crab.
But
But
yeah.
no, I'm a double Aries Virgo.
Oh, it's cute. Brenda thinks you're gonna get any. Mine, my cheesecake.
I can deal with that because I'm not.
Mark, I totally understand that. I have done more damage to myself with those two things than anything else.
But no. So yeah, I've got to. I'm doing hair tonight, but no, we aren't getting haircuts for a while.
Well, I am, but
yeah,
but not professionally. Then again, like trying to tell the difference on me. Like, it really is.
Me giving you a haircut and the professionals giving you a haircut, I can tell you the difference. They get a $40 tip. I get smiled at and said, you missed the spot.
They do not get a $40 tip just for mine. They get a $40 tip when they do both of ours. And that's because I feel like they've suffered enough for you that I can just tip highly.
Because I'll get them telling exactly what I want done, what clippers to use, and how to get it done.
I know.
And then I cross-check them.
Yes.
I mean, my goodness, I've had the same haircut when I'm short. I've had the same haircut since I was 19.
Well, true.
Yeah.
Very true. But yes. So, yeah.
So there's been a few things making the news that is in your department.
There are.
First being that, our former head of the health department says that our governmental systems are overusing decade-old computers. First of all,
surprising. Actually, I would say that's probably doing well for most governmental systems. That's kind of the scary news. Yeah. We've had kind of an IT issue over the last few decades with businesses. And when I say few decades, I'm talking about like the last 20 years. A lot of businesses have been slow to replace and their systems. There's a lot of businesses running on some really old hardware. That was kind of one of those big giant warnings we got when we left college, was that we can teach you all this great new stuff, but we're going to tell you now when you get out in the real world, it's going to be nothing like this.
Well, what was more worrisome to me was not only that it was decade old, which is one thing, but the security of it. To think that we're managing a pandemic with Excel.
Yeah. And again, that's because the kind of numbers that we're needing to crunch are things that these systems can't handle. Like, it's a lot of it is very antiquated. It's a lot of really old software. It's a lot of really old hardware. It's a lot of inabilities to do very advanced things. Some of these systems were built very specifically, as in they're a reporting software. That's it. That's all they do. As in they record. They hold data. It is a very simple. It for its time was a very advanced database, but as for that system's ability to run advanced calculations and take in new ideas and look at data in different ways. Not always. Sometimes you do have to pull that data out of that system, and you can end up doing more on a laptop that you get at Walmart for $300, $400 than that system can actually set and do, because it was never designed to do it. It's not that necessarily the system is incapable of doing any graphical modeling, or doing any kind of trend analysis. Like you could program that, but in some cases the system is so old, finding people to do that, they don't exist anymore. Or if they do, that's a very expensive skill.
Well, here's my question, because she makes a statement that faxes was considered high-speed communication in that department.
Yeah. We have a lot of businesses that you would think it was 1995.
Right.
And for some businesses, it pretty much still is. There are businesses still running Windows 95. They can't get beyond it. And that's horrible. Yeah. Realistically, that's horrible in some cases. In other cases, it can be a negligible thing. If it's not an internet-connected system.
Right. Now, also,
it can be okay.
Justice said it. He is expanding, taking, I believe it's $3.5 million from the CARE Fund to create broadband service instead of putting it into roads, after the federal government told them that they could not do that and put it into roads. Now he's looking like a big man for that. My question is, how much is that going to actually do?
Not a lot. And that's been a big part of the problem. Well, technically that may end up helping a fair amount. I'm trying to remember. It was a big deal that failed a few years ago. It was the West Virginia Middle Mile project, I think it was. And they had estimated what it would cost. Oh, we actually do have the broadband plan now. Let's see. I'm trying to remember what it called for financially to do the big, giant, massive build out. And of course, I get the giant PDF that explains the whole thing, not the lovely news article that just quickly says. But no, that's been an issue, and I will give Justice credit. It's one he's been trying to work on. No, they don't have any freaking numbers. Oh, come on. I'm never gonna find it. That's where I'm at. No.
What gets me is we pay $64 per case of cable. 3.5 million seems like it should be a lot of cable that we should be able at least to expand broadband into, like some of these places that cell phone service isn't even there.
Well, that was originally the theory. Like as we've been going through price increases, as we like any of your utilities, think about just like forget Suddenlink for just a second. Look at like Frontier. Basic phone service, I believe, is still at roughly $70-some a month, and if you and they still charge something like $10 or $20 a month for dial-up. A large chunk of that money is meant to be used not only to support that continuing service through replacing broken junction stations, down lines, etc. It's also meant to improve that and make it better. What's ultimately happened throughout the US is that we keep giving utility companies money on the premise of expanding their networks, and they keep using it in weird ways. Like it ends up going to the wrong places and not for things that rural customers will see.
All right.
Like it's the reason we're in Oak Hill and we can get 1 gigabit Suddenlink, but McDowell County still can't do better than dial-up if they can do dial-up at all.
Well, and here's the thing with them.
Mm-hmm.
Is our house no longer exists in their system? Hasn't.
Okay.
Frontier. They don't see our house. They can't find it because at one time we were going to go to Frontier.
Right.
But, and that's when I needed a real phone, yada, yada, yada. Now all I need is my cell phone. But in general, we have been paying these companies to put in broadband across the state since I know 2006 when I wrote them a check for $2,500 to run a line up the street.
Yeah. Actually, before that, here's what happened in the 90s. Municipal Wi-Fi, municipal internet was a huge thing in the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing massive broadband build out. Late 90s, a lot of communities were getting behind the idea that this is the future, this is what we need, this will improve education, and this was throughout the country, or actually throughout the world. In the U.S., a lot of the existing companies providing those services lobbied extremely hard against municipal internet programs.
Right.
And fought really hard that, hey, you're going to be eating our lunch. We can do this better. Free enterprise. Life will be great. And you see where we are. We are 20 some years later, and we still have areas on dial-up.
Right.
Like when you're talking 1999 and you're on dial-up, that's reasonable. When you're getting to 2009 and you're still on dial-up, your shit stinks. When you're at 2019 and dial-up is still your best option, that's just bullshit. Like that's here's your sign. This is what the creating for-profit utility or creating for-profit. This whole rely on private entities, private industry will save you. Yeah, this is what it does.
Right.
Is it cashes in, but it doesn't ever do what it's supposed to.
And what gets me is all they've got to do is run the line. We have power. Back in the late 30s, we paid, as a state, megabucks to get electric everywhere in the state. We've got big towers, little towers, everything all over. We even flooded out a few towns so that we could create reservoirs for water to generate power. So it is
the other issue that you run into is that there are cable length limits. That's where the bigger problem comes in. Is that you do end up not just being in a situation in which, okay, all you got to do is roll out cable. That's not necessarily the problem. It's not that you can't get a cable there. It's that because of the distance, we're going to have a substation effectively, which is going to have to be connected with a backbone connection, which is typically fiber optic, in order to serve those communities. The problem is, and what has been the problem, is that unlike electricity, in which you can kind of get away with a few things and the substations aren't really that necessarily complex, like a high power transmission line and step down transformers, not too complex. When you start dealing with the technology needed to run the fiber optic, connect up that substation, everything that substation needs to connect that neighborhood to that fiber optic line, it depends upon how many customers you're going to serve. You could, and that's been the problem. You can get into a situation where even if you very carefully plan your substation, how many customers are going to sign up versus what is it going to take to pay off that substation? And that's the private industry problem. That's the private industry problem.
And see, that was the same argument the power companies had. The federal government stepped up and said, we'll pay for it, put it in. This is what their tax dollars are for.
And ultimately what's happening is the middle mile project in West Virginia is that the state is having to make that middleman argument and pay for it. Just get in there and do the in-between.
Right.
So that then Suddenlink has somewhere to connect to. Frontier has somewhere to connect to. That's been the biggest issue in it, is that if they go through all the work to run fiber, and then they have to terminate that at a substation, and then that substation only has 10, 20, 100 customers, it'll never pay for itself.
Well, see, I disagree.
Okay.
That it'll pay for itself because it'll become a bigger net.
Not sure I understand.
Because once you have that substation there, where there's already a power substation on the other side of the pole, then you can also put the cell phone towers in. You can put everything else in because you have that downlink and that uplink that can create the other part of this.
But no. We're not talking about something the size of a transformer.
No. We're talking about something the size of the living room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's a true building.
Yeah.
You normally don't notice them. They put them in really weird areas. They kind of try to hide them as much as possible. But yeah. Well, I mean, in some areas. In other areas, they're pretty noticeable. But yeah. It's one of those things, though, that all of the equipment necessary to do that is a fairly large investment. It's not cheap, and it's understandable why there's been, that kind of cost-benefit analysis, because when you're running a company, which is not a charity, which is not meant to be charitable, it is meant sincerely to look at cost-benefit analysis. If we spend, for instance, $150,000, how many customers paying X number of dollars per month does it take to pay that off, and when?
Right.
Now, when you're talking about a city, and that substation will, say, manage 1,000 connections, that pays off really quickly. So, hey, cool, let's do that. But when you're talking about some of the more rural areas and maybe 100 customers in that area can be serviced by that substation, that's really slow payments. But again, that's been our problem, and that's been the argument and was 20 years ago, the argument for municipal broadband. Was that, no, this is what's going to happen. Like, you want to talk about fortune telling. 20 years ago, the fortune was pre-told on what we would be doing if we allowed private industry to lie to us Keep accepting higher and higher utility rates. Keep accepting government money for a build out. It was never going to happen, and that's exactly what occurred.
Well, it's like Google and Facebook both have invested in West Virginia.
But there's only so much as they're doing this. A lot of it is focused on areas in which there are business opportunities. Like if you build it, they will come. Like there's already something there that says, hi, all you need to do is run this cable and put in a substation. You will make money. Other parts of the state, that's a really hard argument to make.
I'm sorry, Welch? Randolph County? You're telling me there's not 100 people in Randolph County?
It's not that there are not 100 people. It's not the 100 people problem. It is, in many ways, how much of that area, like if you could get in each of these communities one massive business, one big, massive, data-hungry business, you could sell that substation to them, the idea of building it, in a heartbeat. Like Suddenlink or Frontier will pick that up in a heartbeat. But that's the problem, is a lot of these areas are so remote, you're not going to get a business there. You can't put a business there. Everything you would need to do to even think about trying to put a business there, it's never going to happen.
Right, but under the, and this is the thing they don't look at, is the number of people that want out of the city, that want to live in the country, work remote.
But how much are you going to pay for that? Like, seriously, how much are you going to pay per month? And more importantly, can you even bet on it? Like, again, if you have one person in that community willing to spend 10 grand a month, you'll get a substation.
No, you won't. You get told, oh, well, we can't find you.
Well, that can be another issue. But I'm talking about if you want to approach them as a business customer, a loaded business customer, and you want to give them 10 grand a month, they will figure out how to get it to you. That's the problem.
Right.
We don't have that. We have a lot of people that could maybe afford $20 to $30 more a month for internet. Maybe. That may even be overestimating it. But let's say that entire community, you have 100 people willing to pay $30 a month. It's going to take a long time. Like, and those would have to be guaranteed, like guaranteed customers. All of them are going to sign up. That's still, even if 100% of every single customer you could hook up, will pay that bill every month, you're still going to be a very long time making your money back. So what a lot of has been done is kind of an end run game around the requirements. Because this money, I will give credit, did not come to Frontier and again, we keep using Frontier and Suddenlink. It's also Charter and Cox and whoever else is still out there.
Frontier took the money from Google and filed bankruptcy so they didn't have to follow their contract.
Do what now?
Frontier took the money from Google, put it in their bank account, and 2 days later filed bankruptcy.
That can happen, but more so what has been done is an end run. The way that it was set up to be measured was as an aggregate. as an average for the state,
right.
or as an average for the area. And so what companies have done is exactly what you would expect a business to pull. Is they have taken large chunks of the state around major metros, Beckley, Charleston, Morgantown, Huntington, big areas like that in which there are tons of customers, and they have dumped money in them and built that out. And you can get one, like we can, get 1 gig speed straight to your house. No problem. And what it does is it skews the numbers. Is it makes it look like as a state, we all improved. Our average connection is, say, 100 megabits. That's, or 200 megabits or 300 megabits. That's our average connection across the state. But that's not exactly how that worked out.
Nor is it true.
Well, it's true. It is true. Geographically, if you take the amount of area of the state that can get a 1 gig connection versus the area of the state that can only get dial-up, and you average it, the way they've built it out is it looks like most of the state has a really good connection because the average is high. But it's not what you actually get.
Right.
And that's the problem. A lot of this is built on 20-year-old ideas of broadband, that a 10 megabit per second 10 megabit per second connection was high speed. So that's what these companies have done, is they've built out their networks in large metro areas that will pay, and they're getting money hand over fist, like they're taking government money and they're getting customer reimbursement, so they're making profit on it. And it's skewing the numbers. So it looks like they did exactly what they agreed to do.
Right. And then you have HughesNet charging $375 a month for speeds lower than dial-up. But I want to kind of bounce in here into our comments because Brenda brings up a good one. You read it, and I'm going to give my response.
Okay, Brenda says, church here in Fairmont is hosting a speaker Saturday. Enough people coming that they have 2 times. An overflow room, 1 hour social time before each, masks optional, chairs line up touching each other, but 2 to 4 feet between rows. Quote, we will try to follow the governor's mandate, but God is in control here. Worked out well last time. Churches where Fairmont started from. Oh my gosh.
Immediately, if the governor had any dang brains in him, he would send the National Guard to that church about 30 minutes into their first session and start having them pass out 2 things. Tickets to everybody there, citations to everybody there that does not have a mask on, and
except he put no teeth in the mandate.
Yeah, there's no teeth to the mandate.
But no, sorry, your part 2?
My part 2 of this was that building would be closed permanently.
Again, that puts them in the situation of closing down a church. And that will go down like a fart in church in West Virginia.
Well, again, it was done in 1918. That's why, there was so much, if you...
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can imagine.
1,000 cases right there. Just like they done in Greenbrier, just like they done in Lewis County.
Just like they did in Beckley.
Yeah.
Hi. Hello. Again, July 4th and that friggin' disaster.
Yeah, that leads us to our next story. So our lovely new director of the health department was one of the ones that donated to the 4th of July Safe
Yeah, the social distance fireworks in Beckley. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was not our experience. That's the long and short of it, is it was not a socially distanced 4th of July.
No.
It was a complete joke.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't believe I thought people would do this.
Right.
That people would react or act responsibly in this situation. I mean, the friggin' requirements were stupid simple.
Mm-hmm.
Stay in your car. Park one space apart.
Wear a mask if you're going to the concession stand.
And instead, it looked like every other 4th of July celebration I have been to anywhere ever.
Exactly. And we had state troopers just driving past, not saying anything. Granted, I almost rolled down my window and told them to get away from my fucking car.
Yeah. Yeah. That was also fun. We had people lined up, like they didn't care where they stood.
Yeah.
They were out of their cars. They assumed everyone else was. So why should we wonder about, oh, is there someone in that vehicle trying to watch this fireworks show that maybe doesn't want to try to, see through the horrible window I make?
Mm-hmm. Of course, I'm also for churches paying taxes. Since they can collect the corona money, they can pay taxes.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's kind of a bigger issue as well.
Yeah.
And I cannot say that my it's not that I don't understand the theory of religious organizations not paying taxes. I do. I get it. Use these charitable contributions to do charitable acts. Like, instead of paying the government,
Mm-hmm.
In taxes, to then do charitable things or do governmental things to deal with the situations of the world. Keep that money and use it as part of your ministry. However, what we're seeing out of a lot of religious organizations is that's not where that's going.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that's every church. There are really great churches.
Mm-hmm. It's been very tempting. I mean, $250 to our lovely lawyer, and everything we own goes into the church, and we stop paying taxes.
In many ways, yes.
I
think there's a few things you have to leave out of that.
No?
Like your network payments, I don't think you can put into the church.
Oh, yes,
I think that'd be weird.
If so, mega churches wouldn't be getting paid for their book deals. Yeah.
Okay.
Joyce Brothers, she gets a book deal, it goes right into the church. Her donation to the church, so she doesn't have to pay any taxes on it because she didn't earn an income. All she did was do charity.
Oh, I see this now. Oh. So the actual copyright holder of the book is the legal entity of the church.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So all we'd have to do is change ownership of the accounts to the church.
Yeah, I am sure there are a number of churches that have not shut down. That part doesn't surprise me. We've kind of been seeing that all over the country. And personally, it's like, come on, guys, really?
Yeah. We
Really?
could have been done with this. This virus is easy to stop. You starve it out. Just like swine flu, it was easy to stop. You starve it out.
Yeah. But then people don't donate to the church.
Exactly. There's a few evangelical churches that are filing bankruptcy because they were shut down for 2 months. They can sit here and give us all this grief about smoking and fine us and tell us what we can do and what property we can do it on, but they can't enforce mask wearing. when in 1918 they were able to fine people $10, which, by the way, if you've seen my comments, you're wondering where I'm coming up with the numbers of, fine each person $500 in each business, $10,000. That's looking at the laws that were put into the health department in 1918 with the inflation.
Yeah, and definitely it is great that the pagan community, like no one, like currently, correct me if I'm wrong, I really want to know, has anyone at a pagan event gotten COVID-19? Because I think literally everything in the pagan community is shut down, has it not? Like, I made that joke in a previous episode, all these people getting sick at pagan churches. And I was like, oh, wait, no, it's not the pagan churches. I don't think there's been a one, has there? Like, I think the entire pagan community went, nah, we got this.
Well, let's ask the First Lady of West Virginia. Ben, have you heard of anybody in West Virginia at a pagan event getting COVID-19?
Or any, like, pagan-related COVID spread? Like, anything. Like, one case, all we need. Just to be like, okay, so it's, it can happen. Oh, he's going to go with a drum roll. As far as he knows, I think that's a no.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I mean...
Online. We moved our festivals online. Currently, there is only one pagan festival currently scheduled.
Yeah. So far, we know of not one. And
right.
you know, there would be a news article.
Oh, there would be, like, coverage on CNN.
Like, it would be like, ritual baby sacrifice leads to COVID spread. Like, it would be some nasty crap like that.
Right. But no, we went online like that.
Or Satanists spread COVID. That's what it would be.
Well, not only that, but I think the goddess looked at us and said, oh, no, it ain't happening.
Must be a lag.
Yeah, there's about a 30-second to 1 minute delay in case we need to stop something from going public. Lovely tech support. But we went online. We went immediately online. But even before that, I have ran an event for 16 years. We couldn't get a space.
No.
I couldn't even bribe a politician to rent out a shelter.
Well, you weren't even trying to bribe them at that point. It was like, just call me back. Like, it wasn't to get the space. It was like, I will pay you money if you just return my phone call.
Exactly. Could not get a space anywhere in the state of West Virginia. Not one park ranger would call me back. Not one municipality would answer my phone calls. And we were power dialing some of these places.
Yeah.
Like, we have 5 phones in this house. We were using all 5 for a few of them because there's an auction. It's almost like auctioning off your date.
Well, yeah, and that's true of a lot of spaces that have, like, you can't do reservations until, like, the first business day of the year. Like, our family went through that with our stupid family reunion.
Yeah.
Like, flipping Glenwood Park down in Mercer County, oh, dear sweet Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
That first business day, the first day you can reserve for the new year, oh, good friggin' luck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you were not on that phone and already dialing at 7:59 a.m., you ain't getting that space.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what family we're in competition with, but my God.
Probably the Lilies in that area, but anyhow. It is the 3rd Tuesday of January that we have to call Canal State Parks to get a reservation. We start at 7 o'clock in the morning with fully charged phones, and we couldn't even get them to answer.
No. Well, and or to call us back on other places. Like we've left a message, we've left a message, we've left a message. Will you please just put the fucker on the phone?
Like, and if the answer, oh, he's not in right now, I'll leave him a message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Message. And no, like, because you finally got down to a point, and we talked about it on the show. It's like anyone, anywhere, like something. Like if we don't have somewhere by this date, we can't pull this off. Like there's no way.
Yep. Oh no, honey! I even used his phone, the invisible assistant's phone, the unregistered emergency phone. We used them all just in case that. Like none of them. Like there's only 2 phones that have my ID to it.
We have Google Voiced them. We have done everything we could.
Yeah, and then other people were getting through because I have legions, and they were getting told, okay, well, we'll call him. Never happened.
Yeah,
Mayor Dunbar, honey, you have a stack of paperwork you need to return a phone call about.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. But point being is, I even talked personally with St. Albans mayor. He never got back to me. So that's, and this is, I'm not the only one this happened to. There are other pagan event organizers.
Well, but hold on a second. Because right now you seem more angry about not being gotten back to. Pause that for a second and go the other direction with it. Is, for whatever reason, they never got back to you. And so ultimately we said, look, the event's not happening. We can't do it.
Right.
We have nowhere to do it. It's too late. We cannot pull this off. And so at that point, it's like, all right, like the event's canceled. We'll see you next year. We'll try to get something next year. And then all hell broke loose.
Exactly. The weekend when I could have done it, we were on total lockdown.
Well, yeah, but even before that is that, like, because we were sitting there still trying this in February.
Yeah.
And I think it was somewhere like that first week of March, you were like, look, if I don't have a location, we can't pull this off.
Right.
Like, I can't advertise it. I can't get vendors together. I can't figure out how many vendors we can have. I can't figure out where I'm going to put them. Like, I need time with this location because one way or another is going to be a new location to figure this out. And so I believe it was like the first week of March, you set a deadline and said, if we don't have it by the first week of March, we're done.
Right.
And so the first week of March, the world is still turning. Everyone's still doing their thing. And then, and like everyone was all upset. Like, oh, there's not going to be a Beltane? What the hell, man? Like, did you try here? Did you try here? Did you try here? Did you try here? That's all we heard. And it's like, yes, you try. If you can pull this off by this weekend.
But no, Brenda's kind of skipped ahead, and I'm not angry. Like, I am not angry at all at any of it. Because I looked at it, actually as we're going through it, and I'm going, okay, we're not doing this. This is like, what the hell am I doing now?
Yeah.
Floating through, and then, because we had already planned, fine, I will do Beltane Ritual at the store. We will do this class and this class, and I'll do this special thing. I was going to do a gallery reading. Those were supposed to start.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, got it.
Yeah. Over. Like the world was on lockdown. But yeah, no. But yes, Brenda, that was kind of a conversation we had even before all the shit broke loose. And like everything shut down. It's like, honey, sometimes when you have to keep fighting everyone to do something, you need to back off and question, what am I doing? And why is everything in the universe fighting me?
Right.
Like, because sometimes it's maybe now's the wrong time. Maybe, you know, like, and that's where we were at, is maybe a lot of different things.
Right.
Maybe this, maybe that. So no, we had that conversation. That, you know, sometimes when the world is fighting you, you just have to stop and reevaluate.
Right.
That's strangely, for being the atheist, that's one of my big things. Is like, I have that moment of like, okay, if I'm having to fight everything and everyone to do something, then I need to stop and realize that maybe there's a reason. Like, maybe I'm doing the wrong thing, or I'm going about it the wrong way, or I'm misunderstanding something.
Right.
And that's not like a deeply spiritual thing. That's just reality. That sometimes when we really have to fight something, it's because we're doing the wrong thing. Not necessarily that it's like a moral wrong. It's that, you know, you're taking the wrong approach here. You're screaming at the choir. You're fighting, you know, with the wrong words. Like, you're just saying it the wrong way. Like, reevaluate your message, man.
Well, and that's a whole nother story. But no, this was the first year we've not been able to pull it off externally. But yeah, you know, after seeing everything, it was like, yeah, okay, goddess, got it. I know, covenant, we're gonna do this as long as you support it, as long as it pays for itself. Well, sometimes it doesn't pay for itself. That's okay. We're still gonna do this for the community. But this year, it just didn't swing. I mean, because I've replanned these events before. We've had hiccups, and I've had to replan in a weekend.
Yeah.
So, but no, I'm really glad of like Gwen. She went virtual. We're going to have that August 18th. I will be hosting that day. And you'll be hearing my mouth all day. But, you know, Pagan Pride West Virginia is virtual. Other community announcements. Crystal Kingdom has been canceled due to COVID-19.
Yes. Crystal Kingdom Festival has been canceled.
Yep.
And I know Shauna is so upset about that. Like,
well,
as is every event organizer. Like,
exactly.
Like, basically, we're just having this conversation. Is that, you know, no one is canceling stuff because they want to. No one is canceling stuff because it's like, you know what, I just don't want to do this year. Or, here's my excuse. You know, I can take this year off. Like, no one's canceling stuff because of that. It is literally trying to protect people's lives and realizing that now's not the time.
Yeah. Sorry, correction. It's August 22nd. You guys will be seeing it all over Temple Run of Light, Facebook. It'll be on YouTube. We're going to rock and roll that all day long. You're going to get some great speakers, some great vendors. Who are going to be doing some awesome stuff online. And hopefully some good panels. You know, we're going to be having a few of those, so that'll be fun.
So, yeah. But no, that's always been a big thing to me. And is realizing that, like, sometimes when you feel like you're fighting the world, just take a breath, step back, look around, and go, what am I actually doing here?
Well,
like, why is this a fight? Like, just ask that question. Why is this a fight? What am I fighting?
Right.
Oh, why? That's where I'm lost.
Well,
like, really? The pagan community is giving her shit?
Honey, I've ran festivals for years. 1998 was my first festival. I will promise you that Abraham Lincoln said you can please some of the people some of the time. You can please most of the people none of the time. You're going to catch hell. you're going to catch
I
problems.
don't think that's that quote.
Well,
I know that quote. That is not what that
well,
quote
fine. What's that quote?
You can fool some of the people all of the time, and you can fool all of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time.
Well, you can please some of the people some of the time. You can make people unhappy most of the time.
Yeah.
But you have to look at what's best.
But no, I'm sorry. I'm still going to have to ask, like, really? Like, I mean, I get to some degree, like, vendors are annoyed. Well, yeah, and community is a wonderful thing, and these are new opportunities for events. Like, guys, stop and realize. Crabby ass gonna crab. All right, gotcha. Not as much anymore. We're not in Ohio. Well, especially right now.
Mika, I will tell you what I tell every person that asks if I'm coming to Ohio. Sure, find me an event. I love Ohio. I love coming up to Columbus. I love going out to Cleveland. We have a nice, lovely soul that'll carry me all the way through Ohio. I'll even look at going out to Illinois. I'll go anywhere after the virus is over.
Yep. Yeah, because we even had to debate tomorrow's trip or this weekend. Yeah, we really seriously debated this one and went kind of back and forth on it. Like, should we? Because, and I think that's where a lot of people are right now. Like, it's a small event. We're really confident in the students and their ability to keep social distance and wear masks. Like, otherwise, we would be like, this ain't happening.
Well, not only that, but the future has been here. Not only that, but all right, these are common complaints I hear.
Well, no, okay, I think I understand where her issue's coming in, and that's actually the conversation we had just before this one, which is it ends up being its own form of exclusion. Like, it's a barrier to entry. If it's online, you have to be able to get online. Like, you ain't watching this video on dial-up.
Well,
we are not getting dial-up viewers.
Yeah, but at the same time, every year I hear the same complaints. It's not on the bus line. I can't get a ride. I don't have transportation. I'd love to come and do this, but I can't be there. It's too far to drive.
Well, and there's always going to, like, it's always a barrier to entry for someone.
Right.
That's the takeaway. Is there, no matter what you do, it is going to always have barriers to entry. I was at home. Aww. Well, I'm sorry you have a fever, and let's hope it's not the Rona. Don't get the Rona.
More water, and the heat.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when we went somewhere and they checked my temperature, and 20 minutes later it was a totally different temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, pagans have got to get with it. We have been technologically advancing ourselves. Books of Shadows Online, everything else.
Well, but I don't think the argument is that it's that I don't think the argument would be there if it were an additional thing to the physical presence event. Which is honestly where I hope all events go in the future, is that this is an additional part to help people who cannot make the physical journey, or for whom that's more than they can do.
Right.
For any number of reasons, finances, physical mobility limitations. I mean, there's a lot there. So I hope a lot of events do kind of at least keep this spirit going forward and of providing this content. Yeah. Well, and that's a big concern as well. Gwen brings up a very good point, is a lot of vendors are really uncomfortable being online and presenting. I think some are worried about like shipping costs and getting into shipping their wares or their stuff, or providing it in like a digital format or whatever.
Right.
And that's like, those are very big things. And then there's a lot of businesses that have not embraced the internet.
Well,
Like, a lot of small businesses aren't there yet.
Well, I will say this, and I will continue to say this. If you do not build online, then there's no use to have a brick and mortar. You need to build online equally because you have a wider customer base.
True. But no, I do understand vendors putting stuff in storage and just going, you know what, I don't need the hassle.
Right.
I get it. I get it. Like, because I know there are some vendors for everything, in which, the shows make them extra money, like the events, the venues, however you want to put it. But this isn't their full-time gig. I can understand that. Right. Is that like, this is their part-time thing and they have a way that they like doing it. And it's like, no, I'm good, man. I'll just be over here. Like, see you after this shit clears.
Right. And I'm thinking, and I'm going to say this: if you're a craftsman, you got to use everything that you can to do it.
But then again, for some people, this isn't paying their mortgage. Right. This is paying for a vacation. This is paying for, this is putting a little padding in their retirement. This is, something to do and a way to get out and see people and have a thing to get up and do every morning. For some people, this may be like an adjunct, like sort of an occupational therapy kind of thing. For any number of reasons. So no, I can understand it. Like, it's no longer the thing that they liked, and maybe some of the reasons they got into it, like social connection, have changed to some degree, and they're just not there.
Right.
Like, it seems like maybe
they're going to open a store. Like, if I go and rent an office space down the street here and open up House of Aeson Retail, I'm not abandoning the online. That becomes even more important when you work the circuit. And these are people that really work the circuit. Like, they just don't come to one event. They've got a full calendar of events. They have moved online.
Yeah, and I think that's some of the bigger issues, is that because of not exactly what Ben said. What Ben says is, sucks because some are on disability and vending pays for their wants through the year. Because let's have an honest conversation here for a minute. If you're on disability or you are on any kind of social program like that, like what we would generally call welfare, that comes with terms and conditions regarding your income. And I can understand the fear that some of these vendors have, is that going to an event and, collecting some cash, you don't have to necessarily report that, because it's not a ton of money. It's not a big deal. Like, most people aren't going to report you. It's not like you're making money to buy a BMW here. But it can do, it can be a little oomph to what you have coming in each month. Because let's be honest, it doesn't pay.
Right.
Like, if anyone thinks that someone sitting here getting rich off of welfare, like this welfare queen concept of the Reagan era, introduce me. I want to meet someone.
Right.
I haven't met them yet.
No.
What I have seen are a lot of people struggling.
Mm-hmm.
That they have warehouse income, because that's what it does. It warehouses human beings, and leaves them behind.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, here's your warehouse until death.
Right.
That's what you make or that's what you receive on disability income.
Mm-hmm.
Is purely warehousing a human. And not in like an entertained kind of way. We're talking bare minimums on food. You might eke out enough for a cell phone or a cable plan. Pick one.
Mm-hmm.
Literally pick one. And as much as people want to sit here and talk about, government phones, you try keeping up in the 21st century on one of those.
Right.
Like, they're crap. It's
right.
crap phone.
Right.
So, that said, I do understand that there are vendors that are in that situation, and I'm sure their biggest concerns are twofold. One, that's a video online.
Mm-hmm.
And two, that's an electronic payment.
Mm-hmm.
That's not cash in your pocket that you may or may not have.
Right. And I get that. That is always a concern. I think that we work, granted, yes, on disability, you can make up to $2,500 a year extra, unreported. I also think that that's bullshit.
Yeah. Moreover, that's bullshit. Period. End of discussion. That's bullshit. $200 a month?
Mm-hmm.
Based on like the literal bottom of the barrel scrapings we give people on disability?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, $200 a month? That's a fucking cable bill.
Yeah.
For most people. For like literally the average person, that's a fucking cable bill.
Right.
That's a power bill.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like, come on, man. And yeah, I know there's other forms of assistance combined in there. That it's not just the check, it's also the check and potentially SNAP benefits and insurance benefits and subsidies for utilities. But seriously, you try to make that budget work.
Yeah,
like, it's garbage. It's garbage. I've seen it. I've technically at one point in my life done it.
Right.
We were thankfully in that sort of situation where there are some loopholes in this situation. Thankfully, I was a minor child when Dad had to go on disability. You can move assets to a minor child and have them effectively ignored.
Right.
So for a while, I had very lovely bank accounts. In name only.
Right.
That when I turned 18, I no longer had.
Yeah, but at the same time, in the same regard,
yeah,
that is a downfall. This is bullcrap. We are the United States, supposedly. By the way, for those out there touting the United States, do be aware that no, you cannot leave the United States and go anywhere, except like 2 countries in Africa who haven't updated their policies yet.
But no, like Ben makes the point that the extra gives a new bike or shoes or a new outfit or just to make ends meet.
Yeah, or food on the table.
Food on the table. Legit food. Because let me tell you, trying to shop on food stamps, been there, done that. And I've seen what churches are giving out in their food pantries. And let me tell you, I'm a little pissed. Let me tell you, I'm a little pissed about that. Because I actually watched 2 diabetics with a minor child try to survive on food stamps, disability, and church donation, or church food pantries. And I'm just sitting here looking at what they can afford to eat, and none of it is helping them.
Mm-hmm.
It is making them worse.
Right.
It is causing them to need more medication. It is causing their diabetes to get worse. It is causing all of their health problems to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, do you understand? Like, I kept having this moment where I wanted to scream at someone. Like, do you understand what you're doing? These people go to a doctor and get one lecture about how horrible their eating is and how irresponsible they are, and then turn around and what you give them to eat on is just perpetuating that conversation.
Well, not only that, but then the stuff that, and we've faced this, like, since I've become diabetic, our budget has doubled in food. And then you go and you buy, and we went through this week, because we have found one creamer that doesn't piss off my diabetes.
Yeah, magically. We don't understand it. Like, everything else you've used as a coffee creamer ticks you off.
Right.
Like, your body just goes, nah.
Well, and then, because supply chain issues.
Yeah, supply chain issues. Gotta love it.
Gotta love it.
You can't find it.
Well, when we can, we buy it.
Up, yeah, but
I went and I got a sugar-free. This should have been golden for my diabetes.
Yeah, totally organic, amazing sounding creamer, little teeny tiny bottle for $5.
Yeah, and then you go reading the ingredients on it.
Yeah, and still sounds like it wouldn't be that bad.
No, I'm talking about the other one, because we went through 2 bottles.
Well, I'm talking about the little bitty one that says that it has corn syrup.
Right.
But when you look at the total, like, carbohydrates in it, it doesn't look bad.
Right.
It's like 1 gram of carbs. And yes, it's not a carb he should have. Corn syrup, bad. We got that. That really ticks your diabetes off, at least for you. Yeah, I know. $5 for a bag of apples or $1 for a pack of hot dogs. Yes.
Yeah, but the one that was sugar-free, Cremora, we have dealt with this brand forever. I should have known better.
Actually, what I understand is fat does not turn into sugar. Fat will actually just not be absorbed. Fat does not make you fat. Sugar, however, does, because sugar the body doesn't know what to do with. Now, proteins, which are with your fatty things, typically those will convert to a different form of sugar. That's a lot longer process. It actually takes so much energy to do that. It's kind of weird.
Right.
I don't think fat does. I'll double check that. I'm saying that like I'm an expert. I didn't think that was a thing. Like, I didn't think diabetics had to worry about fat content.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What the hell? Okay, fat affects insulin resistance. That I can follow.
Right. But anyhow, so I bought sugar-free Cremora. This should be amazing.
Oh, that's the trans fat debate. Okay, got it now. Sorry, wasn't following. Got it.
So he reads the ingredients for me, because, of course, I don't have my new glasses yet where I can see literally the speck of everything. What's the first ingredient?
Water.
What's the second ingredient?
Corn syrup.
Corn syrup.
Yeah.
Yep. And my sugar went from its normal 110, 120 to 237 in 1 cup.
No. Ben, we'll look into that and make sure that I'm not telling you wrong, but no, fat does not actually make you fat. Does not. That's unfortunately bad sugar science. Like literally sugar industry paid for these studies to tell you that fat makes you fat, not sugar. So eat more sugar.
Yeah.
Sugar gives you energy. That's why you'll notice that a lot of sports drinks are nothing but fucking sugar. Like if it says it gives you electrolytes, they mean sugar. Like effectively, you have an entire health and fitness segment that essentially tells you to get fatter. Like it's totally screwed up. Now, fat will screw with, however, your arteries. So be careful with that. It doesn't mean go out and eat lots of pork rinds. Or lots of, well, that's a bad example, but no, don't go eat tons of fat. We don't want you to have a stroke or a heart attack.
Actually, Ben is right according to the University of Utah Health.
Okay.
If you eat it turns it into fat.
What does?
Fat turns into sugar.
What?
Uh-huh.
No.
Yeah.
I thought the debate was settled that was just bad sugar science.
No. According to the university.
Oh, there is glucose in fat.
Yeah.
But we only turn less than 10% of the fat we eat into glucose.
Still, it turns into glucose.
But you don't get what I'm saying is sugar turns into sugar. Like sugar stays sugar. Sugar just becomes glucose.
Right.
But fat, we barely do anything with. Like, yeah, it okay. I want to look into that one. Because something tells me that's one of those conversions that's like the amount of energy it takes to do it negates it.
Right.
Sort of like eating celery. Don't ever overdose. Don't eat too much celery. You'll throw up. It's bad. But celery takes more calories to digest than it provides.
Mm-hmm.
In some ways it's considered the perfect diet food.
Mm-hmm.
For the fact that if your body could only eat celery, you could literally like watch the weight fall off because it takes more energy to digest it than it provides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we will definitely look into that.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, because I can't imagine that that's actually anything more than a negligible amount of glucose from fat. Like, as in, if our body can only convert 10% of the fat we eat into glucose,
mm-hmm.
then something tells me this is a near negligible amount of conversion.
Well, again, we got to watch it. We got to watch what we eat. Please read it. I don't think anything that has the word sugar in it is safe for me.
Well, yeah.
Because a lot of things that are filled with sugar alcohol, it comes from barley. And I have a very weird allergy, apparently, to barley. I, for years, thought it was hops. Like, don't give me a beer. Don't come around drinking in front of me. I don't want to breathe your breath.
We thought we would be good to his diabetic ass and get him pizza that was thin crust because that's better. No, bad, very bad for you. Literally, like you could sit there and have like half a normal pizza. And yeah, your blood sugar is going to go up a little. Like you'd be looking at that 175, 200 range.
Mm-hmm.
He has like 3 slices, 3 little teeny tiny slices of a cracker with pizza toppings on it, effectively. A thin crust pizza. And he's suddenly in that 450 and climbing range And it's like, what the hell? How does that happen?
I haven't tried the
Cauliflower crust.
crush yet. Yes, unless you are on metformin. Stevia and metformin don't like each other.
Really?
And they meet in your GI tract, they decide to have a battle on who can get out the fastest.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. But yeah, no, we did do a lot of cauliflower there though. Like we replaced cauliflower or rice with cauliflower there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were trying really hard to get your numbers down, and then it was like every time we turned around, it seemed like the dumbest things were coming back to bite you in the ass. Well, one way or the other, either your sugar would spike for no known reason, or like you're sitting over here like, God, I feel weird. And it's like, yeah, that's because your blood sugar is really stupid low.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like his doctor finally said, just take your meds and eat normal food. Like, don't get crazy. And it's like, okay.
Congrats, Ben.
Awesome.
Congrats on losing the 25 pounds. Yeah, okay, so this is what we were doing. We were doing strictly low carb. No breads, no pastas, very, very lean meats, very, very much controlled eating, controlled time eating, high protein.
And lots of zucchini.
Yeah. Well, that's because you're pasta-based life form.
Yes, I
am. However, my doctor lost it. He ran my labs and went, "What the hell are you eating?" And I told him, "Oh, I'm doing,
like we're doing everything good.
Yeah, we're doing 25 carbs a day."
Because when he said that, we were dumb. We were like, "Yay, we're about to get a pat on the back. Go us!" And he's like, Stop it. He's like, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but your numbers are off the charts. Like, everything's worse. And we're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, he doubled my metformin, doubled my cholesterol pill, doubled my pain reliever, doubled my He's like, we're doubling everything because whatever you're doing is just screwing you up.
And it's like, well, hell.
And I didn't lose any weight. I have been working for the metformin.
You actually gained
to lose the weight.
You gained weight. That was the worst part. You were so mad because, like, you were okay with it because we kept thinking it was a muscle gain, and I kept reassuring him with that. Is, well, honey, if you're building muscle, a gain now is okay. It'll help you later. And then it's like, nope. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's gotta suck.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, no, we're back to normal food, controlled eating, and as soon as I can get safely back to the gym, I will be going back to the gym every day. But currently, that is not possible.
Yeah. No, it was a horrible experience, though. We just felt like we were the worst ever. Yep. Like, how do we screw up exactly? Like, what got me, I have to get into that for just a second, is we literally did everything that we tried to get my dad to do. Literally everything that a doctor had ever said, because my dad was diabetic, and would not friggin' listen. Would not friggin' listen. Did everything. Like, I remember the stuff. I remember trying this stuff with Dad, and he wouldn't eat it. He wouldn't touch it. He'd turn his nose up at it. Like, I ain't eating it. All right, fine. I give up. It's like, here's your little Debbie cakes. Kill yourself. I don't care anymore. Like, that's the level of argument it got to. So, like, when we needed to do this, I am pre-stocked. I know what to do. I got this. And then, no, we did all that, and his numbers went to hell.
Well, none of that, but my enzymes went to hell, my electrolytes went to hell.
Aw, quarantine gain, no. Okay, cool. See, I have a problem with eating the food that my food eats, and that's called him. And yes, that's why I can't be vegetarian.
Dear, you can be a vegetarian all you want. All you have to do is be a good husband.
I can be a vegetarian all I want because I ain't got time to be that nice. I have to go through a drive-through to get a salad.
No, you don't. Yeah, I can go and pick you a salad.
Aww. Cardio is awesome. Love the cardio.
Very much so. Boxing cardio sounds kind of fun.
Yes.
Do you box actually get to hit somebody?
Well, not right now.
Oh, no, I know. But
that's Brenda's big thing, though, is she's staying away from the gym because of all this crap. So she had some quarantine. She had a quarantine 15. You know, it's sort of like the freshman 15, but yeah, it's even worse.
Right. But no, diet is tricky. Please, please, please understand that not every diet is built for you or your body. And that is what we learned.
Ah, cool deal. Oh, heavy bag and a speed bag. Cool. Oh, they're both on the same level. Oh, cool.
Yeah. Please design your diet with your doctor. Please watch some of the fun foods. Like we tried that Chinese noodles. Remember the ones that are stored in sulfur, and we had to rinse them, boil them, and rinse them.
Oh man, I'd forgotten about that crap. Ew.
Shiitake noodles. They are terrible.
Man. God, I'd finally forgotten about that experience. Why did you bring that up?
Because the effects it was on our body. It was terrible.
Oh man, I forgot about that. I was happy forgetting about that. Thank you. Never again do you mention that. Oh.
You know, you were contradicting my salads.
Oh. 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 Ew. No, never again on those noodles. Never. Ever. Ever. Like, it was bad enough smelling that cook. And then they're supposed to, and he's all optimistic the whole way through it. They're supposed to smell like this, but everyone says they're much better once they're cooked.
Uh-huh.
And no, they weren't. They smelled like ass when they were cooking, and they tasted like it, and not in a good way. We're not talking about some nice, like, toss the salad. We're talking about, like, hobo ass. Like, needs a shower. Someone needs to teach this motherfucker how to wipe. Nasty, swamp ass, Florida style.
But again, watch what you eat. Watch what's in your food. You know, Ben mentioned hot dogs earlier. I know a lot of people don't like to read what's in their hot dogs. Do so. You'll be surprised of what they're putting in there.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like, I don't know. I've always been more of like a chicken dog person, and I can't get you there.
Nope, I'm a beef dog.
No, you're no. No, you're not. Don't even pretend like you are. You are a 99-cent hot dog pack of 100.
Hey, feeds for a week.
True, but still, Lord.
The cheaper they are, the better they taste.
Mm-hmm. Everything but the sequel. I'm not sure what that's about.
Oh.
I love how Sharon comes in. She always comes in with something awesome. So apparently her husband didn't understand why she didn't eat hot dogs. Then he saw how they were made and he didn't touch them for 3 years.
Aw.
Yes, I understand. I can understand. Like, I didn't understand what gelatin was. Like, I dearly love gummy bears. Like, you guys don't even know. And then I watched that thing on how gelatin is made, and I was like, oh my God, I can never eat this crap again. Oh my God, I did not know what gelatin was. It was one of those disconnected from my food moments, and I was like, sweet Jesus. Ooh.
Really? Is that why we at one time about had Harrisburg send me a thank you card?
Well, no, you briefly had a moment. I think Haribo almost asked if I was still living. Did he die? Our profits are severely down. Did he move? Is he okay? Oh, please don't. Squeal. Oh, everything but the squeal. Basically. Oh, no. Yeah, something tells me that, sometimes I think it's horrible. We're disconnected from our food. And then some foods, I'm like, no, I don't want to know. Like, the less I know, the better. The less I know, the better.
That's the attitude you need to take with salad.
Pardon?
That's the attitude you need to take with salad.
No. See, what I don't know about my hot dogs and gummy bears will kill me in 20 to 40 years. What I don't know about my salad, I might not finish it.
You'll finish it.
I may just Meryl Streep faceplant a la Death Becomes Her.
All right. First of all, you have a question. What is in gelatin?
Oh, you don't want to know that.
It's bone marrow.
Yes. Which then you have to realize, bone marrow is a lot of things. It's hooves, it's keratin and marrow. So yeah, it's all the parts you can't eat turn into gelatin.
So therefore you can eat it.
Yeah, and no. Yeah, that too. Ugh.
And the reason is, first of all, Dabiana salad, Dabiana, foxglove, all that takes at least 24 hours.
Oh, I know. But I just keep picturing that Meryl Streep scene from Death Becomes Her. The one where they're talking about how to kill her and she just face plants in the salad. And I'm like, oh. Yeah, exactly. It's gross. No one needs to think about this. It's I want to be disconnected from my food. Thank you. That's what that is. That's a moment of I need this disconnect. So I can enjoy my Haribo and Haribo can remain a profitable company. Because basically they exist to keep me in gummy bears. It is an amazing movie.
Redoing Death Becomes Her.
No, they're not. That was crap online. No. You're not remaking that movie. Not allowed.
Death Becomes Her 2.
I will end up in prison. Death Becomes Her 2? What's left?
Well,
what is it going to turn into? We find out that the genesis of the Addams family was fucking Death Becomes Her? Because at this point, Dr. Menville is a hand. And What? Ew, no, sugar-free. Ew. Sugar-free gummy bears? What kind of Satanist? Ew. Oh, okay, I'll give you twin snakes. That's cool.
Well, Death Becomes Her 2 is them 50 years later.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Bring back Meryl Streep. Bring back Susan Sarandon.
Bring back who?
The dark-haired, Meryl Streep and the dark-haired one.
Isabella Rossellini? Or are you talking about Goldie Hawn?
Goldie Hawn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and Isabella Rossellini, because the idea you're going to get Lady Gaga to play that role, like, that's when I knew this was shit and had to go investigate.
Well, again, I think that it would be amazing.
Like, don't get me wrong. I think Lady Gaga is amazing, and she has done amazing things. You're not taking away Isabella Rossellini from us. Like, she was just too perfect for that role.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who else could have played Liesl von Ruhlmann?
Right. But here's the point. Here's the idea.
I'm also obsessed with Death Becomes Her. I could almost... Actually, I haven't tried it in a while. I used to be able to do every single line beginning to end. I've seen it that many times.
Well, again, Death Becomes Her 2, they look at the wealth they have created, the companies that, you cover this whole 50-year span of life, and they've got to figure out now how to fake their deaths and start over.
Well, true. I just wonder who... no, I'm not ready. Like, come on, man. I don't want to sit here and watch Bruce Willis's hand for an hour and 30 minutes.
Why would Bruce Willis's hand be in the movie? She's already replaced him with a younger doctor.
I know, but, like,
it's
really?
Mechanic.
Bruce Willis was an amazing part of that movie, and if that fucking hand survived, it is gonna be part of the storyline.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's just gonna be Thing.
Even better.
I don't... Well, the doctor didn't... no, because Ernest died, unless Ernest faked his death, which is really screwed up at that point. Like, that just ruins the original movie if Ernest faked his death. Like, what does that mean?
Well, what does it mean is they both have younger husbands.
Well, no, but I'm talking about, like, it being Thing would be good.
Yes.
Like, that would make a lot of sense if Thing from the Addams Family is actually Bruce Willis.
Mm-hmm.
That would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it?
Uh-huh.
Like, that'd be kind of cool. It would answer a lot of questions.
Uh-huh. That's another one. The Addams Family needs to be brought back.
No, I think we're done. I think they milked that one. Like, it's going to be a few decades. I think they milked that one hard.
There was a YouTube series called Adult Wednesday Addams. Uh-huh.
That's a little scary. I don't want to know.
Oh, it was funny. It was hilarious.
Okay. But no.
See, I'm not into animated. I want life on action. Like, come on, throw a sword.
Wait, they did a new animated one of what? Addams Family? Or, like, now, if you tell me there is an animated Death Becomes Her, I am there. I will. I would so be there. No, that would ruin it. Ernest cannot have faked his death. He is the moral redemption at the end. Okay, now, if Ernest actually died... Now, hold on. What if Ernest actually died, But then they like dig him up, take him to, Liesel von Ruhlmann, and she reanimates his ass.
There we go.
But that means now Dr. Menville is 87 years old, if I remember correctly. Because
but not 87.
Huh?
Like, we need to find some young hot thing to play Dr. Menville.
Well, but that was the thing, though, is like it seemed like it froze people at a perfect age, but it didn't seem like, okay, but I guess she could have a new and improved formula. Oh, God, this would suck.
No, I think it would be amazing to see Meryl Streep take on the role again.
Oh, man. I don't know. I just imagine it like Cabana Chat. Like Meryl Streep all like, nah.
You know she's
going to know what I'm talking about, do you?
No, I don't.
Guys, fill him in. I ain't taking this one. Explain Cabana Chat.
Again, if it has been put out in a movie within the past 20 years, Aeson probably has not seen it.
Oh.
He now has more televisions in his house than he has ever had in his life.
Oh, no. Really? You went with Know What I Mean, Vern? Really? Really, Ben? Really?
Of course, Shirley, of course.
I think some of us are owed parts of our childhood back for watching Ernest Goes to Camp. Yes, I caught the web. Do what now?
It can't be as bad as Kill Bill.
You dare besmirch the movie Kill Bill?
The movie Kill Bill is not really that awesome.
Oh, what? That movie was amazing.
No, it wasn't.
Yes,
yes, it was. Life.
Yes, it was. It was amazing. Shut up.
You're not a dish.
Oh, sorry.
You're
Oops.
Most name brand
sorry. I left sound on. I was checking out Shannon's link. And yes, that is Cabana Chat. Yes, go watch that.
When I have time.
That is Cabana Chat. Yes, see, Ben's with me. Kill Bill was awesome.
I've watched other Kung Fu movies. What they put the actresses through alone was ridiculous, and it would not have been as good as a movie unless Fox actually stepped up and told the director where to take it and shove it.
Okay, now Brenda and I can have a conversation. We're going to leave you out. So when you say that's your ringtone, are you talking about Twisted Nerve? You know. Yeah, the whistle. Because that was my ringtone for years. It was also the years I worked for the debt recovery agency. I figured it would make a good sound effect for the day I finally lost it while working there. But yes. There you go. You are alone in your hatred of Kill Bill.
It's not that I hate it. It's just that I'm like, it's not new.
Aw, but it was amazing.
Not for the crap the poor actresses had to go through.
But they worked really hard and they made an amazing movie. Like, no one's career should be ashamed of making Kill Bill.
I should be ashamed of it. I think that the director should be ashamed. Like, if we want to talk about human decency and human rights.
Oh, you're referencing Viola Davis, right? Or is that who that is? Because you were reading her autobiography a while back.
Yes, that's not, it's Fox.
Oh, sorry. Where did I pull Viola Davis from?
I also read that biography.
Okay, I got confused. Vivian Fox, that's whose autobiography you're
Which,
reading.
by the way, everyone needs to read Vivian Fox's book, Michelle Visage's book, minimum.
Yeah, but Quentin Tarantino movies are amazing.
Quentin Tarantino is a psychopath.
And that's why his movies are amazing. Like, Stephen King's a psychopath, and his movies are amazing.
And Stephen King has never locked up his actresses for 2 weeks, working them 16 hours a day, and then flying them to China.
Well, you know. Still. Alrighty, we'll agree to disagree. Kill Bill is amazing. But anyway.
Hi. So.
Oh, Viola Davis. I know where I pulled that from. Okay, sorry. I confused two actresses horribly.
Yes.
Took me a second. I had to stop and run the name because it's not common.
See, I don't think Stephen King hates his movies. I think Stephen King hates his movies that his wife writes.
Well, moreover, he's had a lot of problems getting his movies or getting his books properly adapted for scripts.
Yeah.
In terms of, he feels like, or has generally stated, that a lot of these adaptations have like totally killed major plot points.
Right.
Or have mutilated the story to a point it's unrecognizable.
Right. It's
and
not
I can't say I disagree.
No, I don't disagree with it at all. I'd love to see some actual Stephen King, like Dolores Claiborne redone with all of Dolores Claiborne's, like, take the book, put the book into the movie. I'd love that.
I think that movie would end up being longer than Gone with the Wind. And that's a Stephen King problem.
I don't think so.
No, it is. His books are generally very long and they're very nuanced. And so if you're going to try to perfectly adapt it, and I think that's what a lot of studios run into, is if you were to perfectly adapt it, there's a potential this movie would drag out for 3 hours.
And do you know how many theaters would be stacked? If we can sit and listen to
But I'm going to need an intermission because there is no way I'm sitting through a Stephen King movie for 3 hours with a bucket of popcorn and a giant ass soda and not pissing myself somewhere after an hour and a half.
Well, again,
there would need to be an intermission.
Watch Titanic for 4 hours.
Oh, Titanic was not 4 hours long.
Yes, it was.
It was not. I saw it in theater. But yes. And The Stand was long but good. But yes, I need an intermission. I think we all need intermission with like a Stephen King movie. Like theaters will clean left.
3.5 hours.
It was not 4 hours.
It was 4 hours when you have preview and post view.
Well, that's true. All right, I'll give it to you. But no, I was going with actual movie length. But yes.
Yes, it was 4 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Sharon's with you. 3 hours, 30 minutes. She was looking it up with the delay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. Okay. I literally thought it was like 2 hours. Like, It was a really fast-paced movie, though. I mean, I know that parts of it are not, and it drags, but other parts of it, there's so much going on that you lose time. You don't care.
It's like you wouldn't with the Dolores Claiborne or The Stand.
No, the stand feels long. The stand is long. It feels long. Like, it's long. Even when it's been abbreviated.
Again, I think The Stand would make an awesome series.
Hey, movie theater giveaway. They give you with your giant soda, they can give you a urinal.
I don't see a problem there. I really don't.
No.
But, you know.
I just think it's going to, like, press some limits there. But, like, we're all going to get way too comfortable with that.
But back to my whole thought on movies in general. There are very few of them that are not rehashing the same thing. You have the psychotic trying to kill everybody. You have Romeo and Juliet trying to do something. You have the Macbeth plot. You have and it's just like, oh my gods, can we not get LA some new LSD so that we can get some dang good movies?
That's not the problem. The problem is that film studios are all about the money. And if you have a genre, you can create a formula. And with that formula, you can create predictions on a movie's budget versus its potential revenue stream. And that's the problem, is we finance movies in much the same way we finance cars.
And you buy the same one every 4 years.
Yeah.
I still have to go see, well, I still have to see if I can find Dracula's Daughter.
Yes, we do have to watch that.
Yes.
But yeah.
The original Dracula's Daughter, apparently. I have to go look it up.
Okay. Oh yeah, don't get him started on glittery vampires. Please don't get him started on glittery vampires. Oh, we'll be here all night. Come on, Brenda. Don't start him on glittery vampires. That is a sore spot to him. You just don't even.
Glittery vampires.
Oh God, here we go.
Twist, because we do have a few more minutes. Are not vampires. Point blank, they have none of the undertones. They have none of the GBLT influences. And if you've not gone and watched that, I will be sharing later the connection with GBLT and the horror genre. Literally, vampires is like straight people trying to do crafts.
Yeah. Well, and the thing with the budget is it's not necessarily the budget for production. It's also the distribution.
Yeah.
And yeah, like yes, you can make really great low budget films. The problem is then getting those films distributed. That's where a lot of the additional money comes in. Yeah, a lot of the zombie movies have broken zombie rules. It's kind of freaky. Like we've started making lovable zombies, and I'm like, what the fuck? No, zombies bad. Stop doing it. Like Shaun of the Dead ruined this. Like everyone was happy that he got chained up and left to play video games. Like I was happy.
Well, I think that I'm not into the zombie thing because Night of the Living Dead done it. Great movie, done. We're done with zombies. If we want to watch that, we'll move to that. It's like Carrie from Stephen King. If I want to watch Prom Queen Nightmare, I'll go do that one. Who?
Velocipaster? I'm not catching that reference. Unless I've forgotten part of a movie that I've seen. Shaun of the Dead was cute.
Mm-hmm.
It was. But that's the problem. Zombies aren't supposed to be cute and lovable. Aww. But no. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Cool. But alrighty. Well, any other fun things you're looking at watching?
Let's see. I've got to finish Under the Dome.
Yes. Then we have to get you started on Dark.
We'll see. There's a few other ones I want to check out.
Oh, Island. That was the big surprise one to me. I kept skipping over that on Netflix. Can I just talk about that for a second? Mm-hmm. I kept skipping over Island because the description is so shitty, but it's not until you watch it you find out why the description has to be so shitty. Because if the description were better, you wouldn't watch it because you'd already understand it. So that's one to take a risk on. Like if you've been like skipping over the Island, yeah, go ahead and watch that. Totally worth it. Totally worth it. Like I did. I kept going back and forth.
I do want to see, I believe it is the new American Horror. The one that they bring Coven back to.
Oh, American Horror Story, the newest one.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. That messed me up. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, of course, we have The Adventures of Sabrina, the Teenage Witch.
Ugh.
The new ones, not the old ones.
I don't know that I can do Sabrina again. It was great.
Oh, it's a totally different thing from what that was.
Yeah, but no, that's my problem with it, though, is I'm still stuck on the old one. And it was great at its time, but then I tried to watch it later. And I'm like, yeah, that only worked during its time period in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Apocalypse. That's the one I loved. Coven. I watched all of it. I own it on DVD.
Okay, I didn't think no, I guess it is Apocalypse is the next one you want to see.
Yeah.
But you're like, it drives me so crazy that you will not sit down and watch it in its entirety, like season to season. Like you only want to see the witchy ones.
Well,
that's it. Like that's your entire interest.
I watched Murder House. I will not watch Sideshow because there's there.
Getting you to watch Murder House looked like Clockwork Orange. I thought we were going to have to strap you to a chair and prop your eyelids open. Oh my God. It took like a year and a half to get you through Murder House.
Well, that's because now I have an app so I can sit in my recliner and watch and work after I fix the sound system again.
Well, yes.
Why TVs do not come with speakers anymore is beyond me.
Well, useful speakers. No, it's not beyond you. You know exactly why it doesn't come with that. Because of the extra money you spend underneath it.
Yeah.
Because you're either going to buy the big-ass sound bar or you're going to buy a sound system. They figured out how to get cheap TVs. Yank the speakers out, and then everyone has to go spend $200 for sound.
See, otherwise, it's in Roanoke. If they even stuck to the nice part of it. Like, I'm interested in seeing Roanoke.
Yeah, again. Witchy one. Like, you're only interested in the witchy ones.
Well, they haven't brought in the vampirial ones.
Anyway.
I did watch Asylum.
Oh, Insidious. Yeah, I don't know that I loved Insidious. That, if I remember right, I don't think I really liked that one much.
Oh, modern movie I actually enjoyed watching, Ready Player One.
Sort of modern, yes.
Yeah. You get ready to come out with Ready Player Two.
Oh, God. But yeah. I tell you guys, it's hard sometimes because he gets so excited because he watched a modern movie. And he means something made since 1990. And I'm like, no, that is not modern.
2000.
Like, good Lord. It's still, that is not modern. Like, that's old enough to vote and, like, have a college degree just about. That's not modern.
Mm-hmm.
That can damn near drink and smoke.
Well, it should if it's in our household.
But, you know.
Oh, yeah, Lady Gaga's outfits. I've watched some of that. But no, for me, a lot of TV, because I've watched the classics and continue to watch black and white classic movies, and then I see the new ones and I'm like, Betty done that better. Joan done that better.
Yes. Well, but no, Hotel was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Hotel was really, really awesome.
Yeah. And
but again, you haven't seen it.
Of the murder hotel in Chicago, which if you haven't looked that up and watched the documentaries on that, oh my God. Go watch that and then watch Hotel.
Yeah. No, Hotel was amazing. But then again, to me, the entire like American Horror Story series has been amazing. That's why I just get so lost that like you're like, no, I just want the witchy ones. Watch me the okay. Oh yeah, Twin Peaks was a little weird. Yeah, Twin Peaks was a little weird.
I liked Twin Peaks. It was pretty good.
No, well, like here's the thing though, is if I remember right back in the day, wasn't Twin Peaks time slotted against the X-Files?
Yes.
That was my problem, is I was like, screw Twin Peaks, I'm watching the X-Files.
You had satellite.
Didn't care.
You could have watched them both.
Oh, please, like my father ever gave up the remote for that long.
Give him a little whiskey, he'll pass out.
Sorry. In my childhood, or in my adolescence, I was lucky that I got to watch X-Files, Silk Stockings, and oh God, what was the other one? La Femme Nikita. Those were my three.
What? No Swamp Thing?
No, he watched that shit.
That was a good one. La Femme Nikita, again, another good show.
Yes. X-Files was
early X-Files.
The movie sucked.
The early X-Files was great. When they got through season 5, they should have killed it.
Oh.
When they replaced the originals with other people, kill it.
I call that fair. Sharon's pointing out that her mom would let her watch X-Files, but not The Simpsons. I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of understand that one, is that The Simpsons, I think, scared a lot of people. Well, because that was... Do you want it?
The Simpsons are different.
Well, no, I think The Simpsons scared a lot of people, is because that was one of the first animated shows that actually like made good, relevant social points.
Mm-hmm.
Like it did. And I think it worried people that, you know, it would appeal to children and it would also maybe indoctrinate them a little. Like, I think it scared a lot of people.
Well,
because, I mean, look at our society. There's a lot of stuff that The Simpsons, like, I think has made a massive impact on the world. Like,
well,
we all identify, or a lot of us identified with Lisa. And we're like, holy shit.
Well, and you know, I think that television itself, and this is the reason why I don't watch a lot of modern television, is TV was meant to create an escape. That doesn't mean Kardashian escape. That doesn't even appeal to me. Or Bachelor and Bachelorette.
Yeah. No, I don't like a lot of reality television. No. Basically because if it's not manufactured, like you're manufacturing drama, you're cutting footage together to build drama, and you're exaggerating you know, a life thing. And effectively showing people how to fuck up their lives. Like, let's be honest, like, you cannot live like a reality TV star. If it's not doing that, it goes the other way and you're exploiting people's lives. Like, you're really, really doing bad things there. Like, you're causing people and their private, or what should be their private life struggles. You're putting that front and center, and we see how that turns out.
Yeah, like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Guys, we're at 2:15. It's going to actually cut us off here in a few moments. We will be back on Tuesday on camera. We will be at Earth Magic tomorrow from noon till I believe 6 is their hours. And then we will be in Morgantown for the Wicca Year in a Day program that's already started. Hopefully I'll see my students, but don't worry, we will be doing it remote also for my students if you're watching this. No, Aeson will not be at live events and festivals this year, in case there was any confusion on that. Possibly not even 2021. But if you know of an event that looks cool, looks fun, and is within the Ohio, West Virginia, depending on what area of Virginia, when I say that, it's not that I won't go there, it's that they won't like me there. More so their policemen don't like me there. Be sure to forward it on to me. I'm always looking for new events and new fun.
And we would love to thank our Patreon supporters, Beverly Walker and the Crystal Lotus Shop. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon supporter and receiving the wonderful benefits of being a supporter of our show, including helping us to make content like this available to you, please visit PCSPnetwork.com.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.